I think women's sport is growing at such an exponential rate, and it's really important that we get together, we review what's working well, and we look at how we're going to grow the women's game, the women's sport together. So my role has been to develop the Women's Super League and the Women's Championship, so to help drive forward the women's professional game and ultimately create the foundations for its future sustainability. So we set out an ambitious strategy in 2019 that we wanted to be the best women's league in the world. We set out our plans on how we're going to develop the product and make it a compelling competition, how we're going to build our audiences, and ultimately how we're going to grow commercial revenue. And we were on a fantastic growth trajectory in terms of attendances and audiences and thrilling competition. And now the plans are, as I'm stepping back from running the Women's Super League in a few weeks' time, the plans are ultimately for the leagues to come out of the FA and go on the next stage of their journey, which is an independent company, which will be owned by the clubs. And obviously the focus will be completely on growing revenue and ultimately making the game sustainable and successful as possible. I think, first of all, as I was talking about at the conference, it's about investing in the product, so making sure that that we're developing high performance environments for our elite athletes, a strong player pathway, supporting those athletes to be the very best that they can be, and helping to create the very best product and a compelling competition. And without that, it's then very difficult to go on and do the next key things, which is about absolutely building our attendances and our audiences and engagement levels with the sport, and ultimately monetising it and making it sustainable in its own right, so it's not reliant on men's football club money and can stand on its own 2 feet. Some of the key aspects of that outside of the development of the product is obviously our media rights partnership with BBC and Sky, which has been transformational in the sorts of audiences watching the WSL, which has gone from a few thousand to roughly sort of 1.5 million eyeballs on the sport every week. So that's been a big breakthrough, as has selling our rights overseas. Barclays is probably another big step forward in terms of title sponsorship, initially of the WSL, and then in its renewal, which we doubled the value of that deal. It's sort of been well documented. It's a multi-million-pound investment, probably a record for women's team sports by a brand in this country. And they've subsequently gone on to be title partner of both the Super League and the Championship, and through their investment and their campaigns have helped us to build the brand and build awareness of the WSL. So they're probably some of the key things that we've really focused on over the last 3 to 4 years. Previously, I was Director of Development, so the focus was on children's and grassroots football. Part of that was change management. That was about supporting the county football associations to move from a regulatory focus into a developmental focus and to deliver services for 11 million customers who play, volunteer, coach, referee the game. And it was absolutely about understanding the research and the insights of what motivates people to play, what the barriers are, and what's going to help keep people playing our sport. So I think lots of those key facets around research, insight, transformational change, sort of being bold and ambitious, I've tried to take into this role. But of course, working with a brilliant team of people who've bought into a high level vision to want to be the best women's league in the world and make that happen and bring that to life. And it's been great to be part of such a great team driving this piece of transformational change forward. I've been lucky enough to work in a number of really exciting roles within the FA. I think previously I was the women's football coordinator working for Howard Wilkinson. We set up, got the investment for the England youth teams, women's youth teams, and the centres of excellence. So putting in place the player pathway for the first time. So that was a fantastic opportunity to be involved in building the sport, which was almost a blank piece of paper. I think probably very proud of the work I did as Director of Development, where we changed the formats of children's football so there's much better technical development for male and female players, so mandating 5v5, 7v7, 9v9, so players are getting a better introduction, much more touches of the ball, etc., rather than being able to just hit the ball long or be lost on an 11-a-side pitch. And that's helped, I believe, to significantly grow youth football as well as develop better players. And then, been absolutely the luckiest person on earth, I think, to come in and to work with such a fantastic team, developing the Barclays Women's Super League and Championship at a time where women's sport was starting to go on a huge sort of journey of growth, and football absolutely must play and should play a key role in the growth of women's sport. So to be involved at the forefront of that, it's been really exciting and thrilling.